mysterious beauty of the planet which you worth know. 11 unique natural phenomena on Earth. Many are fascinated by the magnificent phenomena occurring on other planets. It seems only to reach these distant worlds when all the secrets are shattered. However, on Earth, there are many unusual phenomena that make us believe in miracles. Nature continuously finds ways to show us how incredibly small we are in comparison with at least the planet. The closer you look, the more you realize that some of the things and phenomena that often seem to be taken for granted are actually truly amazing. And now we are also able to shoot them on camera so that all wonders of nature can be seen. In this issue, we will show you incredibly rare and beautiful phenomena of the planet. Creeping stones. Creeping stones, also called sliding or moving stones, a unique geological phenomenon discovered on the dried lake Raistrack Playa in Death Valley, California, USA. Stones move slowly along the clay bottom of the lake, as evidenced by the long traces remaining behind them. They move independently without the help of living beings. Stones move only once in 2 or 3 years, with most of the tracks lasting 3 to 4 years. Sometimes they turn over, which affects the size of their footprint. It is assumed that for the spontaneous movement of the stones, several conditions must be met: a moistened but not yet flooded surface, a thin layer of clay, strong wind gusts as an initiating force, and continued movement. Until the beginning of the 20th century, the phenomenon was explained by supernatural forces. Then, during the formation of electromagnetism, an assumption arose about the effect of magnetic fields, which in general did not explain anything. Most hypotheses agreed that the wind, with the wet bottom of the lake, partly explains the phenomenon. Eye of Sahara. The mysterious Eye of Sahara is a unique geological formation located in the west-central part of Mauritania. It is noteworthy that scientists still have not come to a consensus about what it is. Versions that it is about the place of a meteorite or crater of an ancient volcano have been refuted. It is now believed that the Sahara Eye could arise naturally during erosion. The diameter of the object is about 50 kilometers. It is noticeable even from space. The image shows a geological formation slightly sprinkled with sand, with the correct form of a sky blue color. The age of the rocks that made up the Sahara Eye ranges from 2.5 billion years in the center to 480 million years around the edges. Whatever the origin of the Sahara Eye, it is a real miracle of nature, the beauty of which can be appreciated even from the height of near-Earth orbit. Pink Lake Hiller. Hiller is the most unusual lake in Australia, and perhaps the most amazing in the world. The main feature of the reservoir is the pink color of the water. The lake is located in southwest Australia. Along the edges, Pink Lake is surrounded by sand and a eucalyptus forest. Hiller Lake is one of a kind. It is effectively bordered by a white belt of salt, and from a bird's eye view, it looks like it was written by Monet, who fully showed his imagination, or Van Gogh, who muffled the colors a little. It's not surprising that tourists often photograph Pink Lake while in the air in order to preserve vivid impressions throughout their lives, and once again make sure of the ingenuity of nature. Blue lava. In East Java, on the top of Ijen volcano, next to the largest high-acid crater lake in the world, brave travelers can see something truly spectacular: a blue lava. During the day, this is the most ordinary volcano with bright red lava, but with the onset of night, the lava acquires a mystic blue color. This mysterious flicker is the product of the burning of large amounts of sulfur in the lava. A large lake occupies most of the bottom of the crater of the volcano, above which the flames of the blue flame rise. It consists almost of pure sulfuric acid. It is due to the concentration of gas in liquid sulfur that it continues to burn, spilling down the slopes of the volcano, and it simulates the flows of blue lava. Finger of Death. The northern waters of the ocean to date, perhaps the most poorly understood. Brinicle, or Finger of Death, this is an amazing natural phenomenon. In fact, this is an ordinary icicle. Only such icicles appear underwater in cold seas. In winter, the temperature of seawater in the north averages -1.9 degrees Celsius. Cold air turns this water into ice with a temperature of -20 degrees. Of course, disasters can be avoided, since the growth rate of a water stalactite is quite low. This natural phenomenon will in no way be able to threaten animals and fish that are able to move faster, but sea urchins and starfish caught in the path of the branicle are frozen alive. The glow of sea, the green light of a firefly, the flickering lampshade of a jellyfish. One of the most intriguing mysteries in biology. How and why do living beings or their remains shine? Bioluminescence is more widespread among the inhabitants of the seas and oceans. Here, luminous organisms sometimes multiply in such numbers that they cause the glow of the sea. Many organisms glow continuously when there is oxygen in the environment. In others, bioluminescence occurs in separate outbreaks and is associated with living conditions. When night falls, strange creatures rise from the depths, and the sea begins to glow blue. You must have seen similar photos. The waves beat against the shore, water sparkles blue like electricity. Heavenly hole and ice dust. People see a rounded hole in the sky with precipitation streaming from it very rarely, and it's usually met with unprecedented excitement, as if it was a UFO or meteorite. Meanwhile, a phenomenon called fall streak hole, or hole-like band of precipitation, is a scientific explanation. Water droplets form from above a dense layer of clouds 5 to 6 kilometers above the ground, which do not freeze even at -40 Celsius. When for some reason, a violation of the cloud layer occurs, for example, an airplane flies, a chain reaction occurs. Water droplets crystallize and fall down in the form of ice dust, but they do not reach the Earth, turning into gas in warmer layers of the atmosphere. Morning Gloria. Another rare variety of clouds, a long elongated strip resembles a trace from a giant airplane and can reach 1,000 kilometers in length. Scientists have been studying this natural phenomenon since 1970s, but still have not found an explanation for the complex movements of the air masses that form like thunderstorm collars. An ideal place to observe this is the Carpentaria Bay in northern Australia, the miracle of the ocean's great blue hole. The serene turquoise expanse of the Caribbean suddenly breaks off with a sharp, dark blue-black. The water suddenly becomes surprisingly dark, and it seems that a huge number of octopuses gathered here for some reason. And then, frightened by something, simultaneously released their ink. After that, coral reefs enclosed colored water in their circle of incredible beauty, leaving only 2 narrow channels for people to pass, and almost completely closed the circle, fencing off the world from the outside with completely impregnable sheer walls. They say that the blue hole is a large reservoir which was long ago carved by representatives of the great civilization for the purpose known only to them, and all because the circle of the pit is too even to be created by nature itself. Bloody Glacier. The blood falls flowing from the Taylor Glacier is unique. In the distant and harsh Antarctica, among the lifeless ice sheets, the most terrible waterfall on the planet flows. Scarlet streams of liquid break through the thickness of age-old snows of the glacier, horrifying and bewitching anyone who manages to get there. The first version of why the water stream has such an unusual appearance was made immediately after the opening of the bloody waterfall. Griffith Taylor suggested that algae are to blame for the smallest microorganisms that have red color. According to the scientist, for some reason, they could remain in the glacier and, even when thawed, color the water in a bright red color. Hell Gate. In the center of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan are the Gates of Hell. This is how the locals nicknamed the gas crater Derivas for its continuous burning. This crater was formed in 1971 during a study by geologists of the area. When an exploratory well was drilled, the earth suddenly fell through and a large crater formed, from which gas leaked out. And in order to prevent harmful gas from poisoning people and animals living nearby, it was decided to burn it. After the crater was set on fire, it was expected that the outgoing gas would dry out after a few days. However, the burning of Derawaza does not stop today. 49 years later, it's become a very popular tourist destination. And now you tell me if you've ever seen anything like this. And if yes, then what was it? And what emotion did you have? Share it in the comments, and of course, do not forget to put a thumbs up.